Hi everyone, Omeza here. Welcome to the part 3 of this Excel video tutorial right here on YouTube. Today we're going to be looking at another aspect of this particular dashboard that we can actually create to look very much dynamic. And that part is actually creating this particular infographic that has an image inside it that actually shows the percentage of male and female. And as we're going to be concerning ourselves about this particular chart we have right here, and let us see what this dashboard is all about. So we're going to actually be creating this feature today just to make sure we give you a full hand on what the analysis is all about. So right now it's about crime analysis, and this is the instruction given. So if you have this particular workbook downloaded, just take a look at it. You would understand what we really are trying to actually solve right here. So right now it is about it's about a survey that has actually taken place, where we're trying to evaluate between the bad government and the age of the internet, or the era of the internet, which one actually increases our crisis about was it crisis, which one actually increases the crime in society most. So right now that is exactly what it is. So we've actually got this particular data set right here, which is this. Now where we have the ID of the participant, there is no duplicate. You have to actually participate once, and we have the gender, we have the city, the region, and the age group that participated, and now we have the opinion of people. If it is 1, is bad government. If it is 2, that means you actually agree that the internet is one of the cause of the increment of crime in society. So right now we have this feature where we actually have our slides are hidden, that we can actually choose a different slider to actually slice our data. You can see how everything is moving, and as well how this particular chart gets to move. If you actually move our filter away from it, so we have everything dynamically move as well. So we have this, you can actually place filter on this. Now this is what you have. So let us see what this infographic is going to be all about. It's going to actually dynamically move with the image. Exactly, you might not really feel it. So right now, don't worry, when you have this downloaded, you would definitely understand what is going on right here. So right now let us take a look at how we can actually start creating this from the scratch right now using the right workbook. So now welcome to this particular workbook right here, where we're gonna create all of that from the scratch. So now we've actually done with this, which is in the previous video. If you've not actually watched it, please take a look at that side. That is video 1 and video 2. We'll actually walk you through how we actually did all this. So now the next we're going to do right now is to start creating that infographic. So now what I'm going to do, what we're going to do is just to go to the back end right here. So this is the data source, and actually pick summarize our data from here. So I'm going to go to and actually hit on this pivot table to help us to summarize the data the way we wanted it. So we don't want to use the new worksheet. Instead we're going to use the existing one. I'm going to go to my analysis data and actually drag it to this end, and I'm going to have it dropped right here. I'm going to hit on OK right now. So it's taking a little bit while. Let's see how that goes. So alright, let's see how we can actually summarize our data based on what we want. So we want it based on gender. So I'm going to drag my gender to this row level, and we want to actually count how many participants we have in both male and female. And once we do that, we're going to right click on this. I'm going to right click on this and actually select and actually select this particular show as percentage of column total. So now I have it on percentage, so I don't really need this grand total. I'm going to actually turn it off, but actually remove it. So right now if you look how this is showing the row label, so which I don't really want. If I go to the top right here, so we have this design. I'm going to go to this particular report layout. So on that report layout, I'm going to turn it to a show in tabular form. So now we have the gender on it right now. So the next we're going to do right now is for we to actually copy this away from here, else it's going to prevent us from creating the kind of chart we want to create. So I'm going to copy this away from here, Ctrl C, but I still want to link this to this particular one, so that every single time this one actually changes, it's going to have a very good effect on this one. So if I actually click on this, I'm going to paste the link. So let us see the magic of paste link right now. If I actually double click, this is what it is. It's actually giving me that, okay, this is linked to this, which means if there is any changes to this, it's going to have an effect over this. Now this as well is the same thing. So now let's see the next we're going to do to have the kind of charts created. So what we're going to do right now is I'm going to give this 100%. Oh, go back. I'm going to give it 100%, just hitting the percentage as well. So I'm going to give this one 100% too. So exactly, so we've just got something like this. So right now we need to create our first chart. So now we can name this one to be the full percentage, full percent. So now we can start creating our first chart right now using the female gender. So if I go to the top right now, I can manipulate my chart the way I really wanted it, so I have no limitation. So I'm going to click on this particular type of chart. I'm going to hit OK. So I'm going to remove the name and I'm going to take off this axis. So now if I double click right on this particular chart right here, this is what I have popped up. Just double click on it and actually bring it this up. Exactly, so I have my format chart area up. So I'm going to actually have this one in from 0 to 100, not to 120%. So I'm going to click on it. So what I'm going to do right now, if I hit on this particular axis option, so we have to go to axis options, and now we actually reset this to what, to 0. So from that I'm going to reset this to 1, so which is 100%. So if I actually look at this area right now, it's giving me 100%, right? So I can now remove this because I don't some kind of need it again, so I have it removed. Oh, sorry for that. Okay, click on it again, so I'm gonna have it removed, which is just like this. So I'm going to actually right click on this and go to select what, I'm going to select data. So from select data I'm going to switch row to column, which is exactly what we're about to have right now. If I click on it, this is how this is going to happen now. Exactly, so I'm going to say OK to this. So now the grid line is going to be turned off, I don't need it. So the next thing I'm going to do right now is for me to actually click on this particular chart and hit on this and actually make sure I have it what, 100%. So it's now some kind of overshadowing the other one. So the 100% is at the top, and we have this particular female which is 44.3% beneath it. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to actually right click on it and make sure I bring it to the top. How do we do that? Go to select data, and from select data just click on this one. It's going to reveal what you really wanted. So this is exactly what we want, right? So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I make it a full screen, sorry, to full the whole chart. So I have to actually go up to 0% right now. So right now I want to take the size that I wanted. So what size do I really want to use? If I click at the top right here, I'm going to go to format. So from format I'm going to actually hit on this particular aspect right here, and I'm going to choose the kind of, you know, number I want. So I'm going to say 0.68. So from 0.68 this particular aspect is going to be my 2.29. So you can actually choose the dimension, so it's up to you, whatever. So if I hit enter, I'm gonna have something small as this, right? So this is exactly what it is. So right now if you look at our chart right here, we have image dynamically on it. So what this image does is that every single time we make this chart to actually reduce or increases the percentage, so the image actually move along with it. The image is not static. So how can we glue this image to it? So let us find out. So the next we're going to do right now is to add another series. So I'm going to say equal to this right here. So if I have that done, I'm going to actually have to drag this down. So what I'm going to do right now is this. I'm going to name this one to be icon. So icon, that is where our icon is going to sit. So I'm going to actually right click on this and actually select data. So from select data I'm going to actually add another series. So it's going to ask me for the series name. The series name is icon, and the value I'm going to have on this particular series is this particular 44.3%. so which I'm going to hit really okay right now. So I have it right here. So but it's not really what it is. It's adding under bar chart, right? So what I'm going to do is for me to actually go to change series data chart type. So on that I'm going to see my icon right here. That was why I gave it a name icon, so that it can stand out from the rest. So now I'm going to click on it and go down a little bit, and I see this scatter chart right here, so which I really love. I'm going to click on it, and now I have my scatter chart on it. So if I hit OK, I'm going to commit it to it. So I have my scatter chart, and this is what it looks like. So right now it is not really good right here. I want it to be in the middle. What am I going to do? So I'm going to actually right click on this and go to what, and go to select data again. So if I click back to my icon, so this time around I'm going to have another series, that is extra series, that we don't really have previously. So now we have this series of x value which we don't have, so we're going to switch this series of y value to x y value. So how we're going to do that, I'm going to actually copy this away from here, but if I actually go ahead now, it's not going to allow me to paste anything right here until we change the value from where we copied something from. I'm going to say 0.5. So 0.5 we do. So right now I'm going to actually click on this and have this pasted right here and hit OK and hit OK. Now you see our chart is almost ready, but this is not too beautiful, right? The reason why it's not too beautiful is this. So let me just remove this away from here. Is that we don't want our image to sit right here, but I'm going to leave it like this and paste my image for the first time before we actually arrange that. So now what I'm going to do is, for me to actually remove anything background from here, I'm going to say no fill and I'm going to say no border. So now we've done something good. So I'm going to actually cut this away from here to my main dashboard. So I'm going to shift this and here we go. So the dashboard is here. So if I actually Ctrl V, so we're going to have our chart right on top of here. So what you need to do is to actually drag it down to where you think it's going to actually sit. So now we need to change this color to something different, which is 100% right now. So we change the color to something like this. So now we need to actually change this color, and the color is going to be in this particular color we have right here. Oh sorry, it's almost like a switch, so we have it on this color. So right now we've gotten this particular image right here and we resized it to be of the same size and we shrink it a little bit. So I'm going to actually Ctrl C and copy this image and actually have this image to be on this particular little dot we have right here. If I Ctrl V, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Can you see that? It's actually in the middle of this and this, so which is what we don't want. So we want it to be in the middle of it. You want to be in this particular aspect right here where it's not going to have anything to do with this. So how are we going to solve this problem? So let's solve the problem quickly. If I go back to my analysis, so what I'm going to do right now is to come back right here and double click on this and actually put minus. It's going to be minus 0.06. So it's because I've knew the dimension before. So if you're actually working with this, depends on your size, you need to adjust this over and over again until it fits to what you really wanted. So if I hit OK, I'm going to have to drag this to get the effect on this one as well. So let us go back to our dashboard and guess what we're gonna see. If I hit my dashboard, I have it actually fit itself right. Exactly, this is what we really wanted. So the next thing is to create the next chart, right? So how are we going to create the next chart? Let's see how we can create the next chart fast without, because we already have known the trick we've actually used for this one. So I'm going to create the next chart and I'll come back later. So we've actually created this kind of chart we really wanted to have created. So now this is what it is. The male and the female is ready. So what we need to do right now is to get the icons away from here. We don't need them any longer. So we've actually gotten the icon away from here. So this is how beautiful it is. So now what we need to do is just to actually give it some kind of labels, which we're going to do in the jiffy. So let us concern ourselves about this particular chart we have right here. So now let's look at that. So now we have this very chart that shows the overall people that actually participated in the survey, which is 43.0% of people, and we have right here we have 57.0% of people on the bad government. So how are we going to do this? So let's actually get to see how we can do that. So here we are, the back end. So what we need to do right now, we don't have to actually reinvent the wheel again. So what we need to do is just to recycle through our pivot table right here. I'm going to copy this away from here. Ctrl C will help me do that. So I'm going to actually have to paste this away from here to create the kind of chart we really want to create again. And I told you about manipulation of pivot table, just to make sure we create the kind of chart that we want to create. So now once we have this drop right here, we actually have to change what we have inside it. So now change from gender to what? I'm going to cancel. I'm going to right click and actually bring my show field list. So we're going to take this particular one away from here, and we need to actually have So I deactivate this. So we have taken this one away from here. It's showing us 100% right now. So we are doing that based on the ID, which is the people who actually participated in that particular survey. So now I'm going to actually choose on this particular result right here and bring it down. So where we have the bad government and the internet, and this is the percentage that's associated to all of them, or to the both of them. So now we are going to do the same thing to what we've actually done previously. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to have to paste that link right here, which I've shown you previously. So right now what we need to do is to add the same 100% again. So I'm going to actually highlight this both, and Control 1 will actually give me the kind of formatting I really want. Right now I'm going to go on percentage, and I'm going to actually put this 1%, so just 1%. One, that is 1 decimal point. So I'm going to hit OK right now. Hit OK. So now I'm going to have this 100% or 100%. So now here we go. So we can now create a kind of chart we really wish to create right here, and actually modify the way it should be to look more beautiful on our dashboard. So now if I select this one and actually go to the top, what am I going to see? I'm going to actually go to insert, and from insert, okay, from insert I'm going to choose this, and I'm going to hit on this particular kind of chart right here. So now I'm going to remove the bad government. I'm going to have to remove this as well, which is gone. So now what we have is this kind of chart. So I'm going to actually shrink it to be smaller than what it is. So now we're going to actually double click on it and actually remove the field color, no field color and no outline. Exactly, this is what we have. So right now if I click on this, I make sure I'm clicking the data alone. So I'm going to actually change to see that I'm having this particular kind of color on it. So right now this shows our what? This is going to show the kind the percentage of the bad government right here. So now we need to actually get a little bit creative right here to give it some kind of good color. So I'm going to go for grid line. If I hit on grid line, sorry for that, I'm hitting on, this is not the grid line I want to go. I'm going to go to fill. So I'm going to hit on this one, make sure I'm clicking on this alone, it's highlighted alone. So now go to grid line and actually remove those two stops right here. I don't need those two stops. I'm going to take those two stops right here. So now for this one I'm going to actually have to use a green color. So the green color I'm going to use is going to be this particular green color. So I love that, so click back on it, and I'm going to use a yellow color for the second step. This step right here I'm going to use a yellow color. So what about this? I think this is going to be cool, right? I love something like this. So now we can actually take this away from here to the main dashboard and see how this works. So before we do that, I'm going to actually remove this particular border. We don't want border on it. So if I cut this away from here, so I'm going to take it to my dashboard, and the dashboard, here we are, Ctrl V, will actually help us to paste that. So let us see how we can click on it and make sure you drag it down. So drag it down right here, and I'm gonna resize it exactly to what we want. I'm gonna have to duplicate it, so it's right here. So now this is what we've gotten. So the next thing we're gonna do is just to right click on this and actually change the data to something else. So I will right click on it, and what we're gonna do is to select this particular select data. So once we actually select data, we are going to actually go and this is what it is. So we'll click back on it. Oh, sorry for that. So we need to go back and do the same thing we've done. So now I'm going to say select data. So the select data is going to give us to this particular aspect. So I'm going to actually click right here and change the whole thing to this particular aspect. And if I hit OK, what I have is different. You can see this one has the highest percentage right at the top. Actually I have the lowest percentage. So now we need to give it a data label, but before we do that, what we need to do is to actually change this to something different. Right now we have the green, so we need to change this to a blue color. so we can choose this particular kind of color right here, so which is very nice. I think I love something like this. So this is too bright. Well, what we're going to do right now is to reduce the percentage of this to something like 52%. So I'm going to do that to this as well, so it's going to be 52% as well. So I'm going to go right on this, it's going to be 52%, so just like what we have right there, 52%, so which is cool. So now we can actually get this one away from here now. So now we are cool with this. I'm going to actually take this right here and I'm going to duplicate this, and if I have it duplicated, what I'm going to have inside it is going to be the header. So I'm going to say about government. So about government is going to go like this. So I'm going to take it to the top level right here. I'm going to show you how to actually make this chart to be some kind of something you are going to be really some kind of amazed with. I'm going to click on this button and I'm going to drag this down like this. So now we're going to release it. So we need to actually change this one to the internet. To the internet. So now I will go to the top level right here and I'm going to go to insert. So from insert I'm going to insert a shape, and the kind of shape I'm going to insert is this particular shape right here. So I click on it and actually drag it a little bit. This is exactly what I wanted. So if I right click on it, I'm going to actually make sure the fill color is white and the outline color is going to be no color, and here we go. So I'm going to bring it down to this and actually use it to cover this particular aspect right here. So we need to actually get it to be bigger than this a little bit. So now I can now make sure I readjust it and duplicate this and actually take it away to the other chart. So I have it covered this particular aspect right here, and I can now have my data label on top of it, so it makes it some kind of stand out a little bit, just like this. So we adjust it. You can actually take time to format your chart the way you really feel like. So I can click on both of them right now and actually make sure I have the labeling different. So I'm gonna put it on bold and I can crank it up a little bit. So what about this? So this is cool, right? So now this is exactly what I really wanted to create, but it's just like the previous one we have. So now we need to actually show the percentage inside it. So how do we do that? I'm going to click inside here, and now I'm going to double this and bring this one to the middle, and I'm going to show the percentage of what. Go to the top and actually make sure you have this particular formula bar visible. So I'm going to hit on equal to and go to the bar government, and I'm going to hit on bar government. It's giving me 57%. I'm going to say okay. So right now all I need to change is just duplicate this and go have this in the middle, and all I need to change is this particular one right here, 5 to 6. So 5 to 6. So here we go. This is exactly what it is. So I'm gonna actually have to click on both of them and make sure we give it some kind of exactly. So we put it on bold to stand out, and we're gonna hit a white color exactly. So the next we're gonna do right now, we have something here that actually give us some cool. I'm gonna go to insert. So it gives us more explanation about what we have shown. So exactly, so we're gonna leave it there for now. So if we go back to analysis sheet, what we're gonna do is for we to actually have some kind of, you know, statement right here. I'm gonna say this percentage. So we need to concatenate this with what? So I need to give it a message. Concatenate it. So I'm gonna copy from here. I've already have that right here. So I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna go right and have it pasted, then bracket. So if I actually hit on okay, this is what I have. I've lost my percentage. I don't know. What am I gonna do? It's very simple. What we need to do is just actually now double click on it and use text function. So what is text function doing? Text. So the text function is doing something very good. So I'm gonna actually comma. So my percentage format now is what I'm going to do. How am I going to do this? I'm going to say 0.0%. So I'm going to actually get this and actually have it closed. If I hit enter, let's see if that works. Okay, we have this closed but not really open. The quotation mark needs to be closed right here. If I hit enter, I have my percentage. I believe you get what I've done right here. In the second one, I'm going to actually do it to the second one as well. But before we do that, let me copy this right away from here, which is this particular statement, and it's going to be this. So I'm going to hit on my equal to, come and pick the percentage away from here, and we're going to concatenate it with this. Okay, fine. I'm going to say okay, have this close. If I hit enter, we've lost it again. So what we're going to do is just to use the same text function. If you've not used it before, now you can use it to bring your percentage back. So now we come back down to this expert right here. We hit comma, open quotation mark, and we're going to say 0.0% and close quotation mark and have the bracket closed and hit enter. Now this is what we have. So this is exactly what we need to actually reference right here on the dashboard. So if I actually say equal to, and I'm going to go to what to analyze, and I'm going to hit on this, and here we go. This is exactly what we are actually trying to do. So now I can actually go and make sure this is, I will increase this to 12%. So if I have that increase to 12% right now, I'm going to go to format, and now I'm going to remove the fill color to no fill. I'm going to remove the outline to no outline. So now I'm going to change the background, the color of the text to something like this, not too bright as white. So now we can actually make sure it sits right here. So if I have it duplicated, I'm going to bring it down to this particular one we have right here. So now what we need to do is to change this particular one to this other part of it. So now here we go. I hit enter, it gives me the same formatting. So all I need to do right now is just to click on it and take my format painter, and I have it on it. So now this is exactly what we have. So now we want to show the percentage difference between the two view of the part-covenant and the internet. So what we're going to do right now, if I hit on my analyze right here, so I'm going to go and actually just like equal to this particular one minus this. Now here we go, it's giving us 13.9% as the percentage difference of the two views. So what we need to do is just for we to hit back to our dashboard, and I'm going to actually take this away from here. Now bring it down. So I'm going to say survey difference, survey view, difference. So can actually make sure it sits right here, and I'm going to change the color to something very suitable. So what about this? That is cool. So now we need to bring down the percentage right here. So we need to show the percentage. So showing the percentage is very simple. We just go right there and we hit the percentage. Voila, here we go. So now I can actually crank it up to like 18%. I'm gonna have it on pure white, and I'm gonna have it on bold as well. So now here we go. Very nice, right? So this is exactly what we want. So now if we look at it, it's becoming something very, very, awesome. So what we can do right now, I'm just gonna increase this a little bit. So now is for we to actually work on this. Make sure we align them to be together. So I'm gonna say go this way, and I'm gonna say from to the left. So just click on this and make sure you actually take it to this end. So now what we can do is just to right click on this and actually go to what add data label. From add data label we have it, so we're gonna actually have to push the data label inside base. So right now I'm gonna click on it, actually hit on data label and use this inside base of a thing. So now I'm gonna do the same thing to this same one right here, we're going to add the tally bell. It's going to add that the tally bell outside it. So if I click on it, I'm going to push it to the inside base, or I'm going to say inside base. So now here we go. So now we need to change the color of this particular one to a very nice color. So guess what color do we think is going to actually sit well on this? So we need the yellow color to be on this. So if I right click and go right here, and I'm going to pick on this particular yellow color. So not really this, so this yellow color will be fine. So now we have this yellow color. I'm going to click on this and actually go and give it bold. From bold, I think I can do better than what we have right here. So we can give it white, if white is going to actually sit right in it. So what the heck is going on? So we need to actually increase this to show a percentage. So we give it some kind of increase to show the percentage we have right here. So we own the whole space. We can actually manipulate to use the whole space. So I'm going to do the same thing to this as well. So increase it. So now we can do the same thing to this as well. We need to increase this to from 9 to we increase it to 10, and put it on white and have it on bold. So now here we go. So we've actually shown the percentage nicely, and we can see how it goes. So now we have done something very awesome. So if we go back to our previous dashboard, what we're gonna see is just this. So now we need to actually copy this away from here. We don't need to actually do it over and over again. I'm gonna say Ctrl C. If I go back, I'm gonna have to paste this to my dashboard. So Ctrl V. So now I'll bring them down, and I'm gonna have them to the male and this to the female. So the next thing is what we actually have right here that we've just done. So it's gonna be very simple. Does this right here. So now we need to actually get this done. So how we're going to do this to show information and actually take this out of focus, I'm going to actually have to copy this away from here right now. So if I just click and copy, I'll go to my dashboard. I'm going to actually have to paste it right here on my dashboard. So but the funny thing is that the macro I have assigned to it is still working on this. So what I'm going to do is just to make sure I take it off. It's no more working. If I hit enter and I point at it, is for me to go to my macro right here. I'm gonna actually have to remove this for now. That is okay. So now if I point at it, it's actually empty. It's nothing. It's not really working right now. So now we don't need this particular one again. So I think we are done away from here to show some sample. To close this away from here, I'm gonna say save. Don't save because I don't need you to save anything for me. So now here we are. So what we're going to do right now is for we to actually create that magic on this. So I'm going to go to the top level right here and click on this, and from here I'm going to have to drag it down to this end. So go to the top and make sure you are actually taking the roller off, view and the sidebar. So now if I right click on it, I'm going to go to format shape, and I'm going to reduce the opacity just like this. So now we go to say no line exactly. So this is what we have for the first time. So secondly, we're going to actually go back to the top and pick up another shape again. The shape style we're going to pick this time around is a little bit curvy shape. Oh no, it's taking me time. So now what we're going to do is for me to go to my dashboard and now click at the top right here and go to insert. From insert, let me just take this away, hide it away now. So I'm going to go to insert, and from insert I'm going to insert another shape, and this shape this time around is going to be this shape, which I'm going to actually have to insert right here. So now we need to change the color of this shape, and we're going to change the roundness to something like this. So now the color is going to be this particular color right here, which is something like this. So now we go with this. I'm gonna actually take it away. So this is gonna be as big as this, and we're going to centralize it. So how do we do centralize? For we to actually know where the center of this is for we to actually click on this all together and actually go right to the top. Again, click on the top level. So all we need to do is just to go to the top right here, and we're gonna hit on this and actually make it on what, middle. So now it's centralized, and if we see center right here, it's going to center itself. Now we have it justified. So right now all we need to do is for it to actually have the information we want to have right here inside of it. So I'm going to actually go to the top right here, and I'm going to click on insert, and from insert I'm going to click on this particular text box. So I'm going to have my text box right here, and I will have the text I want to have inside it. Just paste it. Exactly, we have something like this. So we're going to grab them, and we're going to grab this as well. So now I click away, and I'm going to go to the top level right here, and I'm going to actually hit on insert right on this and make sure it centralizes. So we go to the top and actually make sure we have it to actually display very well to us. Now we have it like this. So we need to actually remove the fill color. So I'm going to say fill color, no fill. I'm going to say border. I don't have any border right on this. Now if you look at it, this is what we have. So right now I'm still going to go to the top level as well. I'm going to get this particular type of word art right here now. So now we need to give it another text. So we just copy away from here. We don't need to actually recycle trees over and over again. Okay, fine, copy, go to the text, and we have it pasted inside here. Ctrl V will help us to paste this. So now it's still huge, so we need to go and reduce it a little bit. So what we're going to do now, if we turn home and go to this, we just make sure reduce it to something that is going to sit well, and now we put it on bold. Okay, click on bold and just make sure we have it at the top of this. Now this is just the information we need to actually have right on this one, but it's not really the end of everything. So I'm going to click on this and make sure I have this and this highlighted together. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to have to group them. So now it's being grouped, so now it's as one. So the next thing we're going to be doing is for we to actually name it, so that we can actually write some VBA that is going to actually help us to hide it and reveal it again. So I'm going to bring it back. So now what we need to do is just to actually make sure this is coming to the front and this is coming to the front. Before we actually do that, this will make sure this is coming to the front. So it's nicely grouped. So I'm going to go to the top right here. First of all, before we do that, just make sure you're highlighting everything. Go to the top and go to view and make sure you are seeing your your formula bar. So right now we have it on group 9, so we can actually name it just to like, okay, I'm gonna name it just like info, just like info. So now if I have this copied away from here, just gonna hit OK. Now the next thing we're gonna do right now is just to write some little VBA that is gonna actually do this. So which I've actually written, I'm not gonna recycle through this over and over again. I've actually written it in my second tutorial. My first and second tutorial, we actually wrote this particular code and explained. I'm just going to paste and explain to you what it does right now. So I'm going to click at the top right here and go to my developer. From developer, I'm going to hit my Visual Basic. So now here we are on this. So I'm going to go to my module. So if I go to my module, go to scroll down so much, and here we go. We need to actually have this pasted right here. So first of all, I'm going to give it some kind of message. So now here is the code we're going to be using now. So right now the name of the shape is actually info. So now I make sure I have the name. Then I explain to you what it is that we're trying to get right here. So if you want to know how to write this code from the scratch, I've actually written this code and I'll explain to you. Right now it's just like if active sheet right now is .active sheet.shape. So which is this very sheet we are now is the active sheet right now. So if we have a shape in there that is named info and the visibility is actually false, which means it doesn't show, so we want to show every single time we click a particular icon right here, like this icon we want to show. So right now I'm going to name the icon right there is going to be the info icon, so it's going to be info 2. So now if we want to assign this macro, we're going to assign info to this particular shape right here. So now if it is not true, as we click it shows up, and we want to close it. When we click again, we want to set it to false like this, so it's going to disappear. So now let's see how we can do that. We run it, it's out, it's gone. We run it back again, it's away, it's back. We run it, it's away, it's back again. So this is exactly what we need to do. So now if you don't know how this works, my first tutorial explains better how this is to be written. So I'm going to close this away from here right now. I'm going to assign this to this particular little thing. So now we go, and here is the info. So right now our macro is being assigned. So if I click on it now, it shows up and it disappears just like the previous one we've actually seen. So in the next video we'll take care of this particular hide and reveal icons we have right here. So thank you very much for watching. If you are here for the first time, all you just gotta do is to do me the favor to hit the subscribe button to join the biggest community right now. So thanks for watching. Stay blessed and stay out of trouble.